just want to say thanks for joining us. I know some of the kids have got some very interesting questions to ask you. But what we do at Harris Academy Chobham, we do some Q&As with some high-profile athletes and professionals that are high within sport and careers in sport. So previously, we've had Olympic boxer, we've had some Premier League footballers, first-team strength and conditioning coaches that are full-time in the championship. But now we're going to take it off the pitch. We're going to look behind the scenes at what goes on at high elite sport. So would you like to introduce yourself, your name and what you do?
Yes, I'm Ose. Ose Bijale. I work at a sports agency called Elite Project Group, where we manage elite talent, the best young and up-and-coming talent, from the likes of Jadon Sancho, Alex Iwobi, Todd Cantwell, Bukayo Saka, and Ed Nikita, the list goes on. And I also work in music as well. So I'm part of an artist management team. I'm not sure if you guys know SL, the one that done Tropical and Gentleman. So I'm part of his management team. And I also head up everything at BT Squad. So me and my partner sort of are the co-directors of BT Squad, which are an online platform that create content in sports and entertainment that you lot have probably seen. And we've got a Sunday League team as well. And like all our content gets outputted onto YouTube. So yeah, it's about like three jobs, I'd say. Yeah, 3 passion projects. But yeah, 3 jobs.
3 very big jobs. 3 very big jobs. I think it was the beginning of this year. One of the students, he's not in here as yet. The first day of school, he asked me, "Sir, do you know Theo Waller?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I know Theo. Theo's one of my friends." Ose's in charge of Beatties, one of the 2 big heads in there. If you don't know about Beatties, go and check them out on YouTube. You've just signed a massive boot deal as well, and kit deal with New Balance, which was crazy. But Ose, where did you grow up?
I grew up, do you know what's funny? I was actually born in France, Paris. And I came here when I was about 8, 9, I think, or maybe even 10. I came here when I was about 8, 9 or 10, then literally started school here, didn't speak a word of English, and then literally went to Ella Wilkinson in Beckton. Then after a year I moved and went to St. Joachim's, and from there obviously went to St. Bonaventures, but I'm originally from North Woolwich in Newham, but I lived in Beckton twice. So yeah, pretty much most of my life I've lived in Newham anyways. I'm a Newham boy, so yeah, that's sort of my like upbringing. So
yeah, we've got a lot of people in here from the London Borough of Newham, Waltham Forest, Tower Hamlets. So it's good to see that elitism comes within us in our local community.
Newham is the place to be, man. I always tell people, I think there's so much talent that comes out of Newham, but it's not really showcased. I'm even like guilty of it myself. Like I don't really boast and shout. You know, Em as well. You're doing great things as well. Like we don't really boast and shout out from Newham, but there's a lot of talent in Newham, and I think, funny enough, not to jump the gun, but like our main aim for Beatties was to try and maybe be a bridge to sort of bring like Newham together. You know, we all see there's stuff going on, but that's like one of our main aims. It's not even about the money or the views on YouTube or the Instagram followers. It's like literally trying to build a community whereby we can reproduce more Beatties squads and just unite Newham as one. So like, we've got a big task ahead, but I think it's doable over the years.
100%. Adding on to that, while we're talking about our local area, while we're talking about Newham, your football agency, you have got some of the best talent that Newham's got to offer. From Chief Ratcom, those people who know him, Alex Iwobi, Newham born and bred. It's crazy what you guys are doing. Also, I know you're looking at some of the younger talent in Newham. I know some of the year 11s in here, they will know some of the players that you're close with. Divine, I know you talked to Divine quite a bit.
Yeah, man, we're trying to get over the line. Hopefully, you can help me with that one.
We'll try. Quick one. So 3 jobs that you're running. Before you got into that, you obviously, through education, went to St. Bon's College, 6th form. What did you study? and at university? What was it?
So do you know what? When we went Bonds was funny, because it's like I never knew what I'd be doing now. In Bonds, I just thought I'd be a footballer, but obviously I injured my knee in it. So one of them ones, you know, the old typical excuse. I injured my knee. I wasn't good enough, but then I went to sixth form and I was good at drama, so I'd done a lot of drama in Bonds and in sixth form as well, and I'd done it at uni as well. Funny enough, I studied media at A level. I studied media, sociology, and drama. But it's got everything I'm doing now for work has got nothing to do with what I did in school or university. So I did drama in university as well. I took that serious, like maybe in the last second or third year. First year I messed up a lot. I didn't want to be at uni. I was like plagiarizing a lot of work. I was just like, I can't be bothered to be here. And I think second year was like, I always remember someone saying like only 10% of people get like a first class in drama. So I was like, something in me, even though I didn't want to be at uni, my mentality was like, I've got to be that 10%. And thankfully I was, and I ended up getting a first. But like, I buckled up my ideas. And then from there, I didn't even really use my degree because BT started popping up when I was in my last year of uni. So you can imagine that, like when we went on Soccer AM and everything else. My focus in my last year of uni was on BTs. And then I landed a job just before I joined the agency that was connected with the agency. And then I was motivated to just finish uni because uni felt like a little bit of a drag. But I'd still tell people like it's important to go uni because I think if I didn't go uni, I wouldn't have had this pathway because it gave me time to think during uni where I wanted to go next. So I'm actually like proud that I went through that uni journey, even though I didn't use my degree. Like it sort of helped me make me the person I am today, to be honest. So I got to give credit to like the whole uni experience. Obviously people do it differently, but mine was good.
Love that. Even though you weren't studying sports-related subjects, you were still involved with sports. You were still playing, correct? You were still
playing,
working limelight doing
yeah,
90s.
I was working with Emmy. I don't know if you lot call him Sir Emmy Emmanuel. But yeah, I was working with Emmy at an events management company called Limelight, and like there was where like I even had more of my love for sport. 'Cause I remember like we were just event staff, like doing all the Nike events, but we were taking initiative and meeting the people that actually worked at the headquarters and just making contact. Because I always wanted to work in football or work somewhere or do something with Nike. So I think me and Em always had that drive to just want more, just not just being an event staff. And I just think it might come from Newman, it might come from our hustlers mentality that I wanted more, and I just always wanted to be in front of these people's faces, letting them know like, listen, I'm good at this, or I can learn this, I can learn that. So yeah, it was very good experiences still. I think it helped me with what I do today, definitely.
Yeah. I've got two more questions, two more for me before I open the floor up. So with your job working with elite sport and music and talent, what is the daily life like for yourself?
It's manic. It's got no structure. So literally I've got like this project management system that I use called Trello. And I used to get like, people used to tell me about it at uni, but I was like, I'm not going to use it. But then everything that I used to disregard in uni, I'm now using in work. So literally, I literally use Trello, and I use another app as well, Slack. Slack is a very good one. I used that uni, but didn't really use that uni, but I use now. So like one day Jaden could want this, or another day. So for the company, basically, I do the social media for a lot of the players, and for the company, I do a lot of the branding for the players and the company, and I do a lot of like the commercials and even day-to-day management. So because a lot of the players are around my age, I'm like their point of contact. So if they need anything, it could be something for FIFA, it could be this, it could be that, it could be Jaden's got a brand deal with Nike, or he's got an activation with Nike. Cool, part of the creative process. So I try and just, you know what, I can't even tell. I do everything because I've even got my own actual client that I look after that's at Arsenal. So I'm into the football. Put it this way, I do everything on and off the pitch for the players. So it could be anything. Obviously now in transfer window, like, you know, things can just tick over any minute. So I could be told to go to Manchester, or I could be told to go to this place and have a meeting here and there. And it's interesting, man. With music, it's more relaxed. It's just really planning shoots and going to studio with SL. You know what I mean? Listening to music, seeing how the timeline of the year is going to be, and for Beatties is every day as well, really. Do you know what I mean? I mean, social media has just helped like elevate a lot of things and make things easier for all of us. So I don't know how to answer that question. Sorry, man. I feel like I'm rambling on, but it's just so manic. Like any
I
a
see
player
it.
could text me now and just be like, "Os, can you do this? Or can you sort me a FIFA? Or can you send me some boots from this brand? Or what's the latest with my boot deal and all them things there?" So I'm involved in quite a lot, to be honest.
I've seen it firsthand last week when I called you. Back when we used to be together, getting all these companies, Ademola Lookman, get him to wear New Balance.
Mm.
I've seen it
Oh,
all.
bro, literally everyone, man. Just yeah, it's good though, because like you're not always doing the same thing. I think that's the most important thing. So when I'm doing the football stuff, I can tap out and I'm doing the SL stuff, the music stuff. Then I can tap out and I'm doing the BT stuff. So it all links in and it just keeps my mind like, you know, flowing and get the creative juices going. But yeah, it's good still. It's interesting.
And the last one I want to talk about was a moment that we had a couple years back, or you had a couple years back. I remember when you got this, before this guy was a superstar. Mbappe, tell us about this story.
Yeah, do you know what? Do you know what? I was chatting with my boss. I was in Manchester last week and I was chatting with my boss. We had a meeting in Manny. And we're talking about Mbappe, and I was still at uni, so I still haven't really. It still really doesn't sink in. So I met him. I was working for like a social media company that done all the deals and all the socials for our players, and I get a call one day. Well, I met my boss, and he was like, one night I met him. He said, "Oh, Mbappe, we're in for Mbappe," and I knew some guys. Remember from the one of the Limelight events when I was looking after Monaco, and you were at St George's as well.
Yeah, Club
Everyone
Brugge.
was raving about Mbappe. So he was like, "We're gonna meet Mbappe," and I said, I didn't think anything of it because I was at uni. I was focused on uni. Then he said, "No, we're meeting him today at 4 p.m." And I always remember I was in my uni canteen, my tracksuit bottoms. They were like, "Be there in 2 hours." I rushed home and I went to the Shard, met the parents. Good meeting. He went there, it was just the parents. Then it went so well that we went that same, like 2 months later, we went on Boxing Day. They were like, "Are you free on Boxing Day to meet him as well?" I said, "Yeah." So we went up there now and it was just mad. Just met him and just talking to him, talking French to him. I had him on Snap as well, funny enough. So after the meeting, we're talking. But yeah, it was a sick experience, man. Literally, to see where he's at now and that, to see that I met him just before, the game against City Champions League. So when I met him the week after Champions League, after that it was game over. But he didn't end up signing to any other agency. He's with his dad, innit? But it's a sick experience just to see someone. And I told myself maybe it's too soon, like, because you know them ones, Emmy. I really wanted, like, everyone was talking about, yeah, like if you get Mbappe, this, that, and the other. But I always told people it's patience because now obviously I work with Jaden, and yeah, I mean it's sick, innit? So I think it was a sick experience that I learned a lot from just meeting him, sitting down, speaking to parents, speaking to him, getting a good relationship with players, and just keeping it stepping. And even up till this day, they know who we are, and who knows what the future holds, man.
Love that. Also, I'm going to open up the floor. I'm going to open up the floor to any of the students. I know we've got some footballers in here. Some who have just been given scholarships. Some that play for West Ham. So we've got some under 23 West Ham girls here, 18 West Ham girls here. Some students looking to go to college, university, studying sports. Any questions? I'm going to open the floor. If you've got a question, type one into the question box for me. And we'll try and get through one. Mr. Starkey, question?
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Characteristics. What characteristics do some of the clients you work with, your Sanchos, your Bobbies, and from the music industry, what are the common characteristics that a lot of them have?
Do you know what's funny? They all want to win. Like, especially, obviously we're called Elite Project Group, so our thing is we scout for not just a player could be good, but he's got to have an elite mindset. So I think all of them have a will to win and a will to be the best. And it's never very much like money orientated that it might seem in the media. But all of them, like when I speak to them, like even someone like Jaden, very hard on himself. Like, had a little form, started this year brilliantly. and they always want to prove like their doubters wrong. Like it fuels them, and like having that winning mindset is just to be around. It's just you can't ask for more. Like you can't even buy that. Honestly, I think they all have that in common, and they're very humble. They're very humble. They'll come up with all the people that they've come up with, and generally just good guys off the pitch. Like when I'm out with them or if I'm around them, it's not like they're a footballer. It's just they treat you like your best friends or you're just a normal person. It's the status. Like, there's no barrier. Do you know what I mean? Like we're all equal when we're all around each other. So I think that's like three of the good things about them. Definitely.
That was definitely a common thing that we found from some of the interviews that took place before the summer, is the psychology and the mindset and the strength of mind to be the best and to achieve, and to not let setbacks distract them from what they want to achieve. So yeah, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, next question. I've got a question from Karen. Karen said, how did you get to where you are now from university/education?
After uni, like I said, I jumped straight into the BT stuff, and there was a social media agency that I worked at that was linked to the current agency I work with. But how I got into that, at the time, myself and Emmy were actually just working limelight shifts, so I was meeting so many different people, and I remember Emmy telling me that there was a job for me at Nike. Remember Emmy through James?
Yeah.
I'd been offered a job at the social media agency, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to take that already because I want to work with all these footballers. And it was actually my best friend, Chobham Academy, funnily enough, that got me into it. But he didn't get me into it just because like we're really close. He just said, listen, I've been seeing you work, like, and you work so hard. Like, I need you to meet my agent, who's obviously the boss of the company I work for now. And I was like, yeah, cool. So that's literally like how I got into it. But I always said like, how I see it is like he brought me in, and whenever I tell him, he's like, nah, obviously, it's one thing your friend bringing you in, but it's another thing maintaining and staying. So I think because he sort of brought me in, it's easy to slack off and be like, yeah, my friend can bring me in all the time. But I think I had that burning desire to just even work harder than just getting a job, because I know that if anything went wrong, like I'd have let my friend down. So yeah, that's how I got into it. But it's definitely added pressures because someone's sort of recommending me. So that's why every day I just try and work hard.
Love that, Oz. There's another question from Aminata. What's the main lesson that you've learned from the journey that you're on now in becoming an agent and working with these high-profile talents? Patience.
Because when I got into it, I was like, oh, because of Chuba and all these guys there, I'm going to get this player, I'm going to get that player, I'm going to get that player. But I didn't understand the journey pathway and the infrastructure. So you really have to build relationships with families. You could be building a 2-3 year relationship, and when it comes to sign, they might not sign with you. Knowing the game, learning the game. I always got told that you need to be on the grass, and I was like, oh, what do you mean by that? Like, you need to be at the games. You need to be a scout and an agent. You can't just be an agent. You know what I mean? You need to learn the game. You need to know the game. You always need to have information. Information is key in like this type of industry. You need to know everything. You need to know the scouts. You need to know mum and dad. Selecting whether a player is good, you need to watch him over 5 games. One game he could be good. The second game he could be not good. But you have to assess why he wasn't good in that second game. Is it because parents were shouting at him on the touchline? Did he have a good sleep? You know what I mean? Did he just have a bad game? Like, I learned that you can never judge like a player on just one game. Like, you have to watch him over the course of 5 games and do your match reports and align whether he's a good player, because anyone can spot a good player. What about the players that maybe not playing well for a particular reason? And I think that's what I learned, and the hardest part of the game was because it's easy to see a player just nutmeg everyone and score, and say, yeah, he's a player, I want him. You have to keep going to the games just to see how his mentality is. 2 games he might not play well. Why is that? Try to figure out, speak to the parents. Then the other 3 games he might play well. And yeah, it was just very like nailing down like what it is to sort of pick a target, essentially. You know what I mean? Because that's how scouts do it normally. So yeah, definitely that part of the game that I learned.
Love that. Another question from Emmanuel. Do you think speaking French was an advantage for you?
Yeah, definitely. I was speaking to my colleague about this the other day, and he was like, he wants to learn another language. it's mad because even now, like I always say, my French ain't good, but everyone says it's good. But because I know how good it can be, like I'm still fluent, I understand everything. But it was massive. It was massive for me. Because the French market is big. Like the superstars coming out of it every single day. So yeah, it's one of them ones. It's defo speaking another language in any field of work is a bonus. So yeah, definitely.
Next one from Shante. What's the hardest thing about being an agent?
I think people think you get money so quickly because of like what they say in the media that agents, love money. It's tough, and like the negative stereotypes you get from agents sometimes can put people off working with you. So it's like you've always got a chip on your shoulder, and money's always the question. Money's always the center topic. I don't know why, but maybe because there's a lot of money in the game now. But I think people don't understand what it takes to even get that first bulk of money, if that makes sense. And you really have to love the game, because even like at Elite, what we do is that we always put our clients' best interest at heart. So we don't work with the clubs. We literally always value our clients' best interest. And I think people always forget that everyone's journey is different. But yeah, that's definitely the hardest thing. Just the negative stereotypes about agents, 100%.
I've got another one from Amari. Amari said, how do you manage rotating between all your clients?
It's tough. Something Jaden might want, Alex might not want. Something Alex might want, Jaden might not want. Some players want quite a few things, and some players don't want anything. Some players won't ask you for anything. Some players will want certain things, whether it's social media help or help with captions or doing content or how to grow their social media. Some players just want to get on with football. So I think it's just preference, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because that's how you get to know them as well. So yeah, it's tough. We've got about 62 clients. We've got a team of 10, 12, but we've got 62 clients. It's a lot, but it's manageable.
Okay, before we wrap up, I've got a couple more questions. I'll say, what's the cons about being an agent? Any cons?
Nah, no cons, Emmy, man. No cons, man. I don't know who's watching this. No cons, no cons. Nah, no cons. Yeah, like I said, just the negative stereotypes, really. I can walk into a game now and people will be like, that's the guy from that company. And you never know, because I always just come with an open heart. But, the game is so, how business is, the game is so, like, sometimes fickle, and people just put a label on your head without even getting to know you. You know what I mean? But, business is business, competition is competition. So, yeah, I always say, may the best man win.
What would you say then? What traits do you need to be a good agent? I know you said patience previously. What other traits would you say?
Yeah, good at networking. You need a good network. Honestly, like you need to know clubs, you need to know brands, you need to be good with parents. Relationship building is key. If you've got a happy family, you'll be set. And obviously, you've got to get the right type of player. He's got to have the right mindset as well. It's not always going to be the one that the academies are like, he's the best player on the team. Like for Lauren Balogan, who we've got, even Ed and Nakia, they were going to get released when they were under 18 level, but these are the guys that everyone's talking about now. They weren't the guys that were hyped. Even Makayo, to an extent, no one really knew about him. They're just guys that keep their head down, and look what Makayo's doing now. So I'd always say, like, don't go for the hype. You know what I mean? Because remember, players develop differently. Do you know what I mean? Even, I'm pretty sure Ainsley, Emmy, he weren't one that people were raving on about.
Nah, not when we're younger now.
You know what I mean? He's there now. So I'd always say, don't focus on the hype, man. Focus on the talent and focus on what you have to have a good eye for talent to see the potential as well. Because sometimes a player might not be good for like over the ages, but he develops late. So yeah, don't go for hype.
All right, last one for you. Last one. As a young black male, how hard was it to break and establish yourself in your field?
It was, I would say it was easy in the fact that the company I work for was all black owned. Like it's black owned, black CEO, black colleagues. We've got a few Caucasians, but black owned. It's black owned. So, but even in the industry, it's dominated. It's not really dominated by black people. So it's tough, you know. As an agency, we're like one big force. So for me, as an individual, it was fine. But we still face, you know, different challenges, and we let our players do the talking. You know, we never boast that we're like this massive agency. Our players really do the talking. So it wasn't as difficult, but for Beatties and other things, I did like experience certain things and had to get over them, because Beatties as well as black owned. You know, to be fair, everything I do is black owned. Like I didn't even sort of force that. It just happened. Do you know what I mean? Everything I do is black owned, so it's a challenge, but it's an exciting one. You know, it's good to own stuff and just try and bring people through as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, love that. I'll say, man, love that. Thank you, honestly, thank you so much, man. I know it's crazy at the moment.
Yeah, it's mad.
Transfer window. I know it looks like Lampard might be out later.
Yeah.
So, who you got in the lines for us to take his job?
What Lampard? I heard, no. To be fair, I heard Thomas Tuchel's going there.
Yeah, we'll see that.
Manager, yeah, he's going there still.
Yeah. All right, I'll say thank you so much, though. We'll catch up anyway after this. Guys, really well done, everybody in here, for joining today. Staying positive. Honestly, just keep working hard. Year 12s, year 13s, year 11s, even the year 10s in it. Just keep working hard. Like I say, showing you, no matter where you're from, no matter where you live, aim for the top, and do not try and sacrifice anything that can stop you from getting there. So keep focused, keep working hard. And yeah, we're all going to see you hopefully very soon, face to face at school. But everybody in here, please rejoin your lesson. So if you had a lesson, go back to that lesson for me, please. Year 10s, you've got GCSE PE. Year 13s, you've either got C-Tech or A-level. And everyone else, get back to where we were. But thank you so much, I'll say.
No problem at all, man. Thanks for having me, honestly. Everyone stay safe, keep positive, and most importantly, you can do it. 100%.
Thank you so much.
No worries at all.
There you go. See you later, guys.
Thanks, mate.